everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm making a heart brooch pin. The supplies are paper, scissors, sheet of shrink plastic, coloring pencils, gloss enamel paint, sandpaper, a brooch pin, backs, and hot glue gun. Let's get started. So I begin with tracing a heart over the shrink plastic paper. Now, I made it into a square. It comes in a rectangle shape, but I cut it into a square. So now I'm just centering my heart on my square piece of shrink plastic. And I'm going to trace it. You're working on the rough side. There's a smooth side and then there's a rough side. So after I trace the heart shape, I'm going to create a design. This is just something off the top of my head. And another note, whatever design that you're going to create, you're going to keep in mind that the rough side is actually the back. So when I initially did this, I didn't really keep that in mind. So later on, this is going to actually be on the opposite side, which is fine. It still came out the way I liked it. But you can create any design that comes to mind. You can also use this design for an inspiration if you like. Just slowly incorporating more hearts into the picture. I wanted to have almost like a fabric look, like a textile. That's what I'm trying to say, like a textile look. So this is what it looks like, but keep in mind, like I said earlier, this is really the back. So I flipped it visually just to kind of show you what I would have done had I done it the right way. So I'm sanding the shrink paper because once I start using the color pencils, they adhere to the surface better. So after sanding, I'm ready to start coloring. And I actually ended up painting over this later, but it did help me establish the colors. But you can just bake this as it is and it'll be fine. But I always have to do extra. Not always, but I do extra because I just wanted it to have more of a 3D dimension to it. So I actually painted on top of it later on, after it was baked. Some people, they color it afterwards anyway, even with the color pencils. So it's up to you. It's an option. So now I'm just adding more details. I'm just showing, I guess, the original design idea. But like I said, once I painted it, this was more like a guide. So after you finish coloring it, you're going to cut it. As I mentioned earlier, you want to be very careful with the curves. I don't recommend that you even try to cut the curves in one piece, cut it in pieces. That way you lessen your risk of cracking the shrink plastic. So after it's cut, you bake it in the oven for maybe 2 minutes at about 350, but you always want to keep your eye on it. So after it's baked, and like I said before, I used enamel paint on top of it and some glitter. Here I'm adding the backing using hot glue. You have to work quick with this hot glue because it dries fast. I mean, really fast. And you just take off the little strings later because it leaves like these weird little strings. And that's the end. So here I'm just adding it to one of my tote bags. And here we are. I hope you enjoyed the process. Something you'll try once again. And I'll see you next time. Like, share, and subscribe.